But starting this week, Hannibal's a devil in disguise. Mark Barger, NBC News.
The Real Opinion is brought to you by Rainstorm Car Wash. Get in and get clean today.
And now we're joined by the man with the real opinion, Mr. Geno Reynolds. And just for a second, I mean, that looks really good. Yeah, Hannibal looks incredible.
Mads Mikkelsen is a brilliant choice.
Yes.
I think he's going to play Hannibal excellently. I'm looking forward to that show
He was
myself.
great in Bond, too. So.
Yeah, great Bond villain. Yep. He's in a lot of other good stuff. He hasn't been used too much, but I think this is going to be a breakout role for him.
Agreed. Okay, so let's move on. You saw
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. You go Joe or what?
Okay, there's two ways to look at this movie. If you look at it as a straight sequel to the first one, it fails miserably because they ignore tons of things that happen, things they set up in the first one. Characters are missing, just like The Dark Knight Rises. They're not explained what happened to them, But if you look at the movie the way that the filmmakers, I think, want you to look at it as a pseudo reboot, where what they give you, they're carrying over, and what they don't, they're just going to ignore, maybe bring back later, characters, plots, things like that. It works a little better. Is it the Joe movie I really wanted? It was a lot closer than the first one, if you look at it in that light.
Right. Okay. And we saw just a second ago with the trailer that fight scene, the swinging on the side of the mountains. I know everybody was kind of looking forward to that one.
The Snake Eyes ninja fight on the mountains is the best action scene in the movie by far. The last action scene's pretty good, though there's not a lot of thinking that the good guys are going to lose. But yeah, the mountain scene is really cool, and Ray Park is an excellent stuntman. I'd like to see him get more roles where he actually doesn't have to hide behind a mask or CG or something like that. But until then, he's great at playing characters like Snake Eyes, where it's more about the way they move and the action versus the acting.
Right. Okay. Also, some big names attached to this. We saw The Rock in those previews right there.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum, Bruce Willis, for instance.
Okay, Bruce Willis was pretty much a glorified cameo this time around.
Really? Okay.
He wasn't in the movie very much, but the parts he was in it were he was kind of funny, and he plays the original Joe. The reason they're called Joes, he's Joe Colton, which is the G.I. Joe.
Right, okay.
The Rock plays Roadblock, which is one of my favorite G.I. Joe characters. They kind of force him on you a little bit. You don't get a lot of backstory. The backstory they give you is kind of vague. You find out he has daughters, but even in the credits, they don't even have names. They're just Roadblock's daughters.
Okay.
You don't get a lot of backstory. You don't even find out if he's married. It's more about the action. I wish they would have delved a little bit more into who these guys are as people. They kind of wasted some of the good characters, say in the comics and the cartoons. Flint, for instance, his character was just kind of there to complain.
Okay.
And do some action. And Flint in the comic books is one of the most complex G.I. Joe characters there is. And some of the characters felt wasted.
Fully articulated, you might say.
Kung Fu grip.
There you go.
But the movie itself is a decent action movie, like I said, if you look at it in the light of it's a pseudo reboot.
Okay.
I'm a Joe fan, big time Joe fan. The first time I saw it, I was kind of mad. Second time I watched it, I forgot about the first movie and tried to just enjoy it. It's a lot better that way.
Okay, so go to see it in theaters?
If you're a Joe fan, ignore the first one, and yes, go see it in theaters.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Geno. We appreciate it, and we'll be right back.
The Real Opinion is brought to you by Rainstorm Car Wash. Get in and get clean today.